Planet Coaster 2 is a more broken game than we can even possibly imagine, and it's both absolutely hilarious, such as my discovery of real wave pools, but also really concerning. However, this video is not about the UI, game crashes or at least in normal play mind you, and general gripes. Oh no, this video is about how I and my friend Fromacf managed to completely break this game's economy and brought the game to its knees. Right away, many people have already found ways to completely break the economy and earn money fast using pull passes, and while I do go over that partly in this video, this is not how we did it. It's far more insane than that. So stay tuned and please see the timestamps on screen now if you wish to skip ahead, as park goers, it's story time. So picture this. Planet Coaster 2 releases, and as a veteran player of the original Planet Coaster, you see franchise mode, and as you open it up, you witness an empty leaderboard. A leaderboard that is prime potential for you to climb to the top. So you create your first franchise with your friend and get to work. After a good first session on 2 different parks that we both worked on individually, we find that the fresh boards is already getting up there, and your new park that was built on launch day didn't quite hit the top 10 as you hoped. And that's when you learn this leaderboard challenge is about money in the park's bank accounts. So we changed it up. We moved away from designing a park with decor and realism in mind to a park purely for money generating. But here's where we went wrong. We designed it just like a park in the original Planet Coaster would make bank. So while we did make a lot more, we weren't making what we really needed to rank up. So back to the drawing board. With my friend Fromacf offline, I decided to investigate this game's economy, and that's when I discovered broken item number 1. Water slides. With water slides and pools being the headlining new feature in Planet Coaster 2, I knew something had to be broken with them. I mean, I did break the wave pools in this game, and you all shared what horrible torture machines you can create with them. And great you did over in r/Planet Coaster on Reddit. Anyway, water slides were indeed broken, as did you know, you can charge $200 a ticket for a slide as long as you have 1 slide on a platform charging bargain pricing? Well, if not, now you know. Simply place down 2 more slides, set 1 to bargain and rest to $200 and watch that money flow in. At least for the next 10 to 30 minutes of gameplay, if the only thing in your park is water park attractions and nothing dry, before guests simply refuse to hop on a water slides because the queue is too long, but said queue is actually empty, so you close the ride, delete the ride, undo, delete, and retest it, whatever you gotta do to get that queue time, but it never resets until that one RNG guest somehow enters the queue and hopped on the exact water slide that's broken. Oh, they have this on their tracker, and it's acknowledged. Good, okay, let's move on. Well, with water slides being a winner for money making, but being completely broken after the first few minutes because of all of that said above, oh my god, it was time for a different approach. If you're an experienced player with the original Planet Coaster game, you know that the one rule is to never ever charge for park entry. This is because it was extremely difficult to have a solid cash flow, considering guests can stay in your park for as long as they want and as long as they have money in their pocket through ATMs. That meant that the only way for new guests to enter the park was through increasing that park rating up higher. Guests slowly leaving the park over time, allowing new guests to replace them, was really slow given I've established, or by closing the park and reopening it after everyone is left. But in Planet Coaster 2, this is the answer. After my sad news of water slides breaking, I noticed my pool passes was charging for a lot more, and I was earning massive waves of cash as guests in Planet Coaster 2 will actually all leave the park and generate new guests in waves. While it's not tied to the park's day-night cycle, it was something that finally happened in these games. Guests will no longer spend years inside of the park, but actually just a few hours before being forced to leave without your input. And with guests being forced to leave, new guests take their place, generating a sudden influx of cash from pool passes, and after taking note of it, the park entry costs after setting that to the full price too. But with this newfound discovery of guest behavior, I knew I had to create a park and optimize this further, as guests simply take too long to leave the park and flow back in due to crowding and park size. So I did just that. Now, I'll leave this segment as brief as I can so I can share the building process of an identical park with you, so you too can know just how broken this game really is. So to start, I have too many hours in the first Planet Coaster game where I know that guest behavior for navigation is tied to destinations. I knew that a guest can only navigate the paths if it has a destination to interact with, so by placing a guest spawner and a park gate next to one another, guests will approach the gate, interact with it by either buying their tickets or refusing, then search for the next destination, which just so happens to be our guest spawner. So the guest moves to the guest spawner and interact with it, which is them having to despawn. And what we managed to do. Guests were paying nearly $3,000 a ticket per person, which was giving us a total of around $114 million a day. This cycle is so absolutely broken that it has completely brought this game's economy to its knees, and with this park, for what was originally named The Experiment, but later known as the Fixed TT2 funding project on the leaderboards that was in that #1 spot, the game was also brought to its knees. As what I've discovered and what my friend Fromacf later built on top of, which completely amplified what we were able to accomplish, caused his game to crash 50% of the time while loading and another 50% of the time while expanding this monstrosity of a park. Then, when construction was complete, causing both his game and even my game to crash 100% of the time when exiting to the main menu. We brought this game to its limit. And now, allow me to share to you just how we did that. Alright, so we're inside of the park now. The first thing we want to do is just simply close the park and have all these guests leave. Thank you. Okay, now we have to take the multi-select tool. We can highlight all of this and we can hit confirm selection and then delete. We no longer need any of that. So, as I said earlier, we want to head to facilities, go to create custom, and find our guest spawners. So, the park entrance and park entrance gate are two entirely different things. As you can see, the icon is different. So, the bus, the boat, and this little tile are all guest spawners. This is what you need to have guests just simply spawn into your park, and then this is what you need for guests to actually interact with your park. So, to completely break this game's economy, the first thing you want to do is just simply place down a guest spawner. And we're just going to place down a few of them. We're just going to place down 5 for now, and then simply place down a park gate next to them. And that's it, you're done. You've broke the game's economy. Well, partly. See, at this point, we can simply go to edit ticket prices and change it to full price. You can see it's $0. So we need to get that cranked up. So to do that, first we just want to maybe build some pools. So if we were to build like a single pool, for example, and we head back here, go to our prices, you can see our pool passes increase in price. Every time you build a new pool or a new water slide, your pool pass will increase in price. But your park entry is tied to the park rating. So as you increase your park rating, your park entry price will go up. So we need to get our attraction prestige, scenery rating, unique attractions, and park reputation values cranked up. So let's work on that. So the first thing we want to do is maybe try getting some flumes. So if we were to place down this type of flume, for example, it has 5 on them. Perfect. And then if we simply just go in and test each one. And now we come back and we take a look at our park entrance gate. We can see our ticket price has gone up because now we have rides, and our pool pass also gone up. So the more stuff we place down inside of a park, the higher our ticket price and pool passes will go, and the higher our park rating is, the more our park entry tickets will cost. So attraction prestige is pretty low. Let's get it up higher. The easiest way to get up higher, from my experience so far, is just by selecting large rocks in the scenery brush. crank that intensity up high. Let's just like ignore scenery that already exists. And yeah, actually we don't need it to be that large. Let's just do that. Now let's just spam rocks like crazy. Just keep in mind of your of how much cash you have, because I'm realizing I'm not on Sandbox. I'm actually like playing this in a real franchise park. And now if we just simply hit test on each one again, and then we open each one, the prestige has gone up on all of these, and our park rating has gone up as well. You can see our scenery rating has gone up because we have more scenery inside the park, and our attraction prestige has also gone up. And now let's take a look back at our entrance. You can see our entrance has gone up in price, and our pool pass has also gone up in price. Now, I'm not going to go to the same extremes as I did with the original park. I'm just going to be showing you how to get started with it, and then you can learn how to expand upon it yourself, because I'm sure the way that we approached it is not the most optimal route, considering just how broken that park is. So, the other thing you want to do is just fire staff members that you don't actually need, because they're just going to be, like, draining your cash flow. Anyway, at this point, we can simply open up the park, and you can see guests are entering and they're leaving right away. But if we fast forward and we watch our money, that is going up rather quickly. So yeah, you can see, if we were to pause, and we were to click on a guest, if the game will let us, thank you, and we just take a look at their finances. Watch their total spent. They just paid $200 to enter our park, and now they just leave. So you can completely bring this game's economy by just simply doing this. It's absolutely insane. But you're probably wondering, how did we get it to $2,000 or even $3,000 for park entry? Well, allow me to share that. So, first thing you want to do, make sure everything you have in the park is closed. With everything closed, take note of what your ticket price is. Simply, just hit Save Park, and then exit the main menu. Then, just head right back in. And now, take a look at your ticket price. You can see it's a hell of a lot more than it was earlier, and that's because it multiplies itself. Now, if you didn't catch it, and I'm not sure if it would have caught it on the footage, I have to take a look in post, but our park rating starts at like about roughly 0.1, maybe 0.2, maybe sometimes 0 when you first load into a park, even if it's established. And then it jumps up to where the park rating should be. So there's a delay between when the park rating, when the park loads, and then when the park rating finally catches up. And because of that desync, a park entry cost is saved with the park, so that $23.99 price that we saw earlier was saved with the park. So when you load back in and the park rating is at 0, that $23.99 still exists, but then when the park rating jumps up, so does the ticket price jumping up with it, because the ticket price is tied to the park rating. So the higher your park rating and the higher your base ticket price is, the more insane the game will end up multiplying it. But there's a catch. There's a very big catch. You see, if you're going to make use of this, you cannot have anything operating in your park. Anything that's inside your park must be closed. You can't have anything updating at all. If there's just one ride, just one thing that updates inside of your park that changes what the prestige, reputation, anything about it at all, that park entry cost is going to reset back down. And then additionally, when the day ends and it becomes day 2, day 3, day 4, and you see that end of day reports. The moment the end of the day report comes on screen, for some reason, that also triggers an update for the park entry tickets, and it will reset. So anytime you make use of this, you can only do it for a single day in game, and then you have to reload the park again. But this is consistent. You can do this right now, even in a park you already have established. Simply load it up and immediately check what your ticket cost is for entry. Just check it, and you'll see it's jumped up like mad. But then, because your park is probably operating with rides, it's going to reset rather quickly. It will either reset almost right away, or it'll have a delay, depending on when the update occurs. But anyway, with this knowledge, have fun breaking this game's economy. And for anyone at Frontier who's watching this, I am so sorry for what's going to happen with the leaderboards, because I am well aware that the leaderboards are currently being moderated. As our park, the fixed TT2 funding project, it got removed from the boards, and I don't blame them. So Frontier is clearly aware of the problem where guests will just enter the park, pay, and then leave. I don't think they're aware of the multiplication, and that's what this video is for, is to actually share the information that you can multiply your ticket price for your parks. But yeah, if you want to see more content like this, where I just completely break the game, or simply just actually creating posters or creations in the game and uploading to the workshop for you to download, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you around next time.